G'day ladies and gentlemen, I have been MIA for a while. I've been taking some time to actually try and, get a job so I can afford car parts, as well as fix the problems with my car, some of which were already there, some of which I believe were from me maybe taking my car off-road and potentially breaking it, but that's besides the point. So the car is currently completely pulled apart. I've been doing a whole bunch of stuff to it and just fixing little things here or there. It's been good, but I did actually notice that somehow I managed to get a hole in my exhaust, which I have absolutely no idea how the frick that happened, but that happened. But we'll look at it as a positive, I guess now I have a reason to get a Tome, so I'm not complaining, although my bank account is. But today we've got our carbon fiber roof spoiler. I bought this ages back second hand off some bloke that was using it for a race car, and he didn't need it anymore, and I figured it was a steal for the price I got it. So I'm gonna put this on today. So that one's gonna go somewhat like that, so that'll look pretty bloody sweet. But first I'm also gonna actually paint the sides here to actually be World Rally Blue as well. I also do need to paint my wing, which is something that I'm going to get on top of in the next couple of days as well. Overall, the car is pretty much good to go. I had a problem with my tyre that was most definitely caused by taking it off-road and sending it. Thankfully, I had a spare rim that was cracked but had a good tyre on it. This tyre was broken but the rim's fine, so it's currently at the mechanics getting fitted. So I'm just taking the good tyre and putting it on the good rim. But today we're actually going to be installing the little roof spoiler, so I'm just going to get all of that ready, get these sides painted up, and that should be all good. So we just hit it with some cheeky wax and grease remover. Went all good, so I can get that all clean. Then I'm going to sand it back and then I'll start the painting. I also wanted to use this moment to say, don't take anything I do as biblical. I don't even know if you're supposed to be painting carbon fiber, but I'm going to do it anyway. If it turns out terribly, it turns out terribly. I didn't pay all that much for the roof spoiler because, as I said, I got a second hand that's already pretty scuffed up on the sides. So I'm hoping at least if I paint it, it'll be a bit nicer. But yes, let's just get into it anyway. Yes, the race that stops the city. Yes, interesting. I realized in the process of all of this, I don't actually have any masking tape, so now I've got to head out and actually go get some.
You are a cinema, I could watch it forever.
We've acquired the masking tape, and while we're at Woolies, we also got ourselves a strawberry milk. Also, strawberry milk is not just for girls, hashtag blokes like strawberry milk too. It's not perfect, but she's mostly masked off now, and now I guess we can get to our first coat. It's going to be a pain in the ass to do, because not only do I have to do all the way around here, but I've also got to try and get underneath here. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do it all in one coat or take it in turns, but I might be able to do it. I'm just going to see, it might be a bit of a cluster frick. So I've got a classic super cheap auto colour match World Rally Blue paint. From the looks of it, it actually looks pretty accurate. I'm not sure necessarily how accurate it's going to be to my actual paint, because obviously this paint's going to be a bit older. But if you don't look at it too close, it shouldn't be too bad. If it is close, I might actually end up doing the whole wing, but if it's a bit off, I might actually not end up doing the wing. I don't actually mind having the black wing. I think it contrasts it really well, because yeah, if it is a bit off, I don't really want to have the whole wing a completely sort of different color to the rest of the car, because I just don't reckon it will look very good. So our first coat's on, and it actually looks pretty good. I decided I'd just do the end pieces now and do the actual inside pieces once this is all dried. I want to take it really slow. Last time I did a sort of rattle can spray job, I rushed it and ended up looking terrible. So with this, I want to actually make sure that I do it properly. But even just the first coat is actually looking really good. Even with this, you can actually see the carbon fiber through the paint a little bit, and it actually looks really nice. So we've just put on our final coat of the top part, and I'm actually really happy with how it turned out. It looks absolutely bloody beautiful. So I've still got to put the clear coat on there, but first I'm going to flip it over, because as you can sort of see here, so I've got to go do the big chunk underneath there. So I'll wait till this fully dries, and I'll flip it over, then I'll be able to do it. Now, while that is all drying, I'm just going to prep the interior. So we are going to be drilling into this, which is unfortunate because knowing me, I will mess it up. But if we head onto the inside here, it's relatively easy to do. Your panel here literally just pulls straight off. It's really easy to get to. So once that's popped here, you can see there, so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be drilling around here somewhere. So we'll just pop them down, that way we can see where it's actually coming through, and then once it comes through we'll be able to tighten it on the other side. So we'll come around the other side now and I'll show you the full process. Super simple, easiest if you start at the top. Literally just pull, they clip out, they're just little push lock. They're just little push fittings, they come right off. And there we go. Now we can actually see where we'll be drilling. G'day ladies and gentlemen, we've currently finished doing the second lot of the base coat on the underside. So all the actual coating is done, now I just need to do a clear coat on top. But looking at it just now, it is absolutely beautiful. I'm so happy with how it turned out. So now we just need to do the clear coat, then I'll do a template up for the screws and make sure it's all lined up properly. Then we'll slap it on the car and it should look bloody mint. We are running out of daytime though, it's currently 3:45, so I've still got a little bit of sunlight left, probably have another hour and a half or so of decent sunlight. So I'm hoping I can get it done before then. And then once we've actually finished the template, we can get to the super fun part of potentially breaking my car by drilling. So let's go. So what you're going to want to do is basically stick some pieces of paper to the end. You can use any sort of paper, generally more transparent paper makes it easier. But thankfully for me I've only got one hole, so it's not too difficult anyway. And you're going to want to make sure you leave a bit on the edge because that's what you can actually tape to the car. So you want to have some overhang so that you can actually tape it to the car to use for the template. Then you're basically just going to go and find your hole and just punch a hole where the holes are, depending on how many holes you have. Mine is just about here, so I'm just going to punch a hole there. Alright, so now we've punched our 2 holes, now it's actually time to get it on the car. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to put it on your car, then you're going to use the extra bits of paper that you had to actually tape it to the car and take the tape off there, and that way you'll actually have a template to drill. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get an extra set of hands so I can line it up properly, and then I'll be right back. Alright, well it took a while, but we've done our best to line it up, put the template there with our little drill holes. So we've got both our holes now. Now for the really scary part of actually drilling. So this is the fun part where I potentially break everything, but fingers crossed that I don't. Before I do this, I'd like to pray to the Subaru gods. Please don't let me break my car too much. Fingers crossed, and I'm praying that it goes really well, and if it doesn't, I'm gonna cry. But before we actually even drill the holes, we've got to prep our wing to actually get on there. So, little life hack. Most of them will just come with screw holes, and you'll also get these tiny little bolts. Especially when you get them on eBay, the bolts never actually fit because they're way too short and don't have enough length to go through. So you have to go out and buy some extra bolts that actually go in. But if you want a little cheeky secret hack to make it actually fit properly, here you go. So if you look at stock Subaru wings, I've got the WRX wing here, you'll see how they're mounted. Instead of having a bolt that goes underneath the boot into the spoiler, they actually have little standoffs on the spoiler. So you put the standoffs on and then just tighten them from the bottom. It makes it a whole lot more secure and works a whole lot better. And they also put a little strip of double-sided tape around it, which not only acts as a little sealant, but also helps it stick down. So that's what we're going to replicate today. I did the same thing with my wing and it worked really well. So what you're going to want to do is go down to your local Bunnings or hardware shop or whatever it is and grab yourself just some bolts that fit. In this case they're M6, they might be different with your wing, but the past 2 wings that I have done have both been M6, so if you're not too sure, safe bet is M6, but always go check. Now the bolts you buy are going to come just sort of like this, just a regular sort of bolt, and they'll also obviously come with just a little nut to tighten it. But what I recommend doing is taking the extra time, not dropping the bolt, but go and actually grind the head off, so it's hard to see here, but you see what I've got here is just a bolt that has the head cut off it. Now what we're going to do is we're going to Loctite these into our standoffs on our wing, and that means we effectively have the same sort of standoffs that come on your regular WRX wings. And that way we can just tighten them from the bottom, and that way we don't have to worry about washers, although you still want to have a washer on it, but you don't have to worry about stacking washers to make sure you get the right fitment. This way you just tighten it up as much as you need. It's going to be out of focus terrible, but just grab your little Loctite, put it on the end of the bolt there, and then we're basically obviously just going to screw it into our standoffs. And that way we effectively have homemade standoffs that'll stay in and work properly. Good day ladies and gentlemen, it's about a week later now since I filmed the last part of this video, and I only just realized I didn't actually film an outro or film it actually on the car, so we'll go have a look at that now real quick. So it's all on the car and looking absolutely amazing. What I had to end up doing was you can't actually put the screws in and then just slide it on. Because of the angle that they're actually on, you need to put it on, and put the screws through and then screw them in and then tighten it with the nut, that way it goes on. I also didn't show it, but I also put double-sided tape on the inside there, just hold it and make it more secure. Since then we've done a whole bunch of stuff. As you can probably notice, the wing is now blue. The top is blank. That's because I'm about to put some carbon fiber wrap on it, so that way the carbon fiber wrap there will match the carbon fiber here and it'll flow down the car nicely. There's still a whole bunch of stuff to do, as there's currently no exhaust, so it is stupidly loud because it's just a catless downpipe and nothing else. I just want to say a big thank you to anyone who's come back to the channel. I know I've been slacking recently, trying to look for a job and work out everything with my car. But thank you for being patient with me and understanding that I do have a life aside from just making YouTube videos. But I'm going to do as much as I can and try and keep on it. But in the meantime, if you could please subscribe and like the video, it helps out a lot, and I'll try and keep up as much as I can. In the next coming weeks, I should be doing a lot more to the car. I just want to get it to a point where it's actually on the road, and then I'm going to start pushing for videos again. But in the meantime, I'll try and film as much as I can that I find interesting for the actual installation part. But fingers crossed, if we can spend the money, there might be a cheeky little titanium exhaust that's going in the car, which will be freaking mint. But in the meantime, don't forget to stay sexy, all you beautiful people, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.